the tough part of journalism today is you don't get that much time with a subject. You're in and out. So you have to. Sophia Loren. I once could have interviewed Sophia Loren, the Playboy, but they only said I could do 2 hours a day for 3 days in New York, and then she was going back to Italy. I said, well, could I go back to Italy with her? She says, no, she's on doing a movie then. And I said, well, maybe I can get a little more time when I'm with her. No, because she's got something that a half hour before you, an hour after you. So, that was it, 6 hours. I turned it down. I turned it down because I said, that's not enough time. Today, if somebody offers you 6 hours with anybody, that's amazing. You'll grab it in a minute, and I would grab it in a minute if I was doing something like that, because I know that you don't get that kind of time anymore. I was very lucky to be able to interview people at a time when people understood that to tell your story correctly, you need time. It does take time, and I was good at listening and preparing. For James Michener, when I went to see James Michener, who wrote 50 books, many of them over 1,000 pages each, and I read a lot of them, he said, I prepared a great deal. And the first day I got there, it was in Florida, and he said, well, we'll sit in my office. He says, he said, come tomorrow, we'll start tomorrow, and I'll give you the day. And I said, Mr. Michener, I said, I think I may need more than one day with you. I said, I prepared a lot. And he says, well, let's just see how it goes. I said, well, I prepared 560 questions. I said, it's good. And he looked at me like, what? Okay, so I came at 8 in the morning. We broke for lunch. We had lunch together. We went out, then we came back. We talked till 8 at night. He says, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Same thing, 8 in the morning, 12, see you the next day. 5 days. 5 days, 8 hours, 10, 12 hours a day for 5 days I did with him. And then I continued with him because I did the book called Conversations with Michener. I continued talking to him for 17 years. 17 years. I kept talking to him. And then when he died, I put it out as a book, So you just never know with these things, but you have to. But when you're asking me, when do you stop yourself? You don't stop yourself. They will stop you. When you get to an area that's too sensitive, they're going to say to you, I'd rather not talk about it, or I don't want to go there. John Huston said that to me on camera when I did a Playboy cable interview with him. I already knew some of his story because I was working with him, I did a Playboy interview, but this was the cable. I brought up when he lost the child. I brought up a certain woman he had divorced, and he said, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I said, okay. And I moved on. But when I wrote the book on the Hustons, I went there with him, and I went in depth with him on everything. So, sometimes it's just the right time, and depending on what you're doing. If you're doing a TV thing, if you're doing a magazine piece, or if you're doing a book, you're going to get different kinds of responses and go in deeply in different ways.
Right.